Hello.
Can I draw with you?
Yeah, of course. Please. I have
Oh,
a
you have
bunch of different.
alcohol markers.
Got alcohol
I
markers.
don't really know how to use these very well.
I don't know how to use them very well either. You can move that, of course. I just have that there for the wind. I got a lot of other pens or pencils.
You want to draw?
No. Okay. Are you here for the art show?
Yeah, we just came from it.
How is it?
It's great. We
Nice.
we met this lady at a farmer's market or Boulder Creek Fest.
Oh.
She's had some stuff, so we came to find her. The prints.
Oh, you knew an artist that was here already?
New is a strong word.
Okay. Knew of.
Knew of. That's right.
Are you both from Boulder?
Mm-hmm. We live there.
Live there now, at least.
How about you?
I live here in Denver, just a few blocks down the street.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do this what?
No, this is my first time doing it.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of convinced my girlfriend to come with me, so I felt more comfortable doing it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah. Good question. I don't think there is from the times I've been here. Yeah, they should get like a few up and running though. Yeah. I think I think Supers is probably the closest.
We might get this.
Nice. What are your names?
Allison.
Allison?
Mm-hmm.
You did? Cool.
Yeah.
Faden. Yeah. Yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Fucked up your face again?
Oh, you're drawing me.
I draw you whenever I don't know what I want to draw. Never really turns out well.
Do you draw pretty often?
I've been like trying to learn how to do it over the last few years. Like very on and off again.
Right.
Like,
Trying to make it more into a hobby.
Yeah.
I do somewhat. I'm on and off.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have times where I draw for many days in a row. And
Yeah, when I go on trips, I draw a lot.
a lot more things to draw when
Just like
it's
more
new.
things, more time. More open to it. But I took some classes at the Art Students League.
Okay, nice.
Started like a figure drawing class that I really like there.
Figure drawing's interesting.
Yeah, their teacher is really good.
Oh, okay. Where is that at?
It's on Grant Street. It's up near Mine and Drew's.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I did a drawing class, Community College of Denver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It
was fun. I'd say it's a good time. It was nice learning like the foundations. It was just drawing one. It was like graphite and some pen, but mostly graphite.
Cool.
Very basic things like shapes and some faces, some figure. We did a figure drawing. We were supposed to have a female come in. We had a lot of like male students, and a lot of them were like, "Oh boy, what's it gonna be like?" You know. And then the day came, and she told us that the female model canceled on us, so we had a male model instead. And I'm like 26. I've been around enough. I'm comfortable with nudity. but I could tell some of my classmates were not.
Oh,
And
poor baby artists.
yeah, it was fun to see them
Male
kind
drawings
of.
are really hard to draw. And like I remember when I was little, I always thought it was like really annoying at art museums that like there were so many nude women. I thought it was really creepy, and I would like ask my dad. I was like, "Why do people do this?" And he was
Mm,
like, "Well, I think people think the female form is beautiful," and I was like, "That's really weird." But then I
interesting.
took like an art class, and I was like, "It is a lot more pleasant to draw like the female form, like the roundedness,
More
like, the
flowy and
curves." Yeah,
curvaceous.
there
Yeah.
was a in Boulder they do a live figure drawing like a couple times a week, and there's a long pose on
Like
Sundays.
bigger man.
Well, no, there was like a really well. That's true. That
Like
is
it
true.
could be
Then there's
true.
also
Yeah.
like a skinnier man who had like really good muscle definition, and he was really fun to draw. But then there was this man that we drew at Art Students League that was very thin and not that muscular, and it was just like drawing a box. And my box was an ugly box, so it was really hard. Yeah, male draw bodies are really difficult. How long have you been drawing today?
Not very long.
Mm-hmm.
No, probably like 10, 15 minutes maybe. Yeah. Bless you. Yeah, you're the first one to come over.
Oh, nice.
So thank you.
Love to start trends.
Yeah, I think it'd be something nice. You know, you can if you're comfortable drawing, you can kind of just get a feel for how somebody else's style and maybe make other people more comfortable and doing art.
Mm-hmm. Got a haircut, so your hair's not spiky. Yeah, I draw mostly with like pen and pencil, but then that means that like color is really difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like very not familiar with it.
Same with me as well. Yeah,
Mhm,
I do a lot of pens,
Yeah, for sure.
a lot of black and white. So yeah, this set was kind of impulse buy and in a way of being like, I will learn how to use color.
Yeah, I also have a large pile of markers at home that I have not really used, so I'm just using those.
Well, I'm glad they're getting to use. What is the usual style of drawing you like to do?
I started out with figure. Actually, well, when I was in high school, I drew a lot of dragons.
Oh,
A lot of dragons.
fantasy.
Yeah, and then now I'm trying to get more into like being able to travel sketch,
Mm.
so like urban sketching. So that kind of has been like my main tool for figuring out how to use watercolor and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, so like note taking and like drawing something that's like a representation of something that's within the notes of your travels, kind of like that
Not
thing.
so much note taking. I mean, it'd be cool if I could do that, like a sketchbook diary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, uh, really notice like where I am.
Mm-hmm. I like to bring like a few pens with me everywhere I go and a pack of like sticky notes.
Mm.
And that way, like if ever in line for something or there's ever any downtime, instead of just defaulting to looking at my phone,
Mm-hmm.
I have something else to do.
There's this Instagram guy named Batsy Head.
Yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, and his
Yeah,
oh my
I like
god, his
Batsy.
incredible. His stuff is always on Instagram.
Yeah.
He has sticky note art with like
all the cats and
really like demonic cats.
yeah,
It's like causing trouble.
he has funny
It's
sayings that
it's
go
so
along with
good.
it as well.
It's like
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
Just, like, don't know how you come up with it. He posts like every day.
yeah.
Do you draw mostly fantasy as well?
No, I do a lot of like abstract and trippy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Started getting into more like realistic, trying to draw things that look more realistic, I suppose,
Mm-hmm.
but also adding like the abstract form to it.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning with something realistic and then just letting it go wherever it goes afterwards, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was talking with somebody who kept trying to tell me that I am like as creative as like any good artist that I see online. And I'm like, that's not true. Like I have ideas, but in order like they're only ideas, like to fully flesh them out, you have to be able to execute them. And like that takes a lot of skill. And like in developing an idea, you realize that like sometimes like like what you were saying about like being able to let it flow. Like that's really hard to like really like tap into it and then to not interrupt your flow with like getting stuck on like execution. He did not agree with me, but that's like, really being able to like really loosen up.
I noticed that with like some people who learn drawing from like I guess only class settings.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe like some people get too hung up on form and like you were saying, like the final product maybe
Mm-hmm.
rather than.
I think it's hard for me to like kind of just freewheel because I have a version of what I want it to look like. Um, and then it doesn't look that way. I think,
See, yeah, and then that's maybe like putting up expectations, and then
yeah, it is. But talk to my therapist about that.
right.
What are you gonna do with your video?
I'm probably just gonna edit it up and probably share it online. I have a Instagram that I post a lot of my art to,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to get more onto YouTube. Just starting out and trying to figure out what it is I want to make on there. So yeah, probably that.
Are you trying to like gain more of an audience?
Sort of, and just do something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I think like making and posting and creating content is something I wanted to do for a while. And this is just one way to.
How do you feel
start.
about TikTok?
I don't really go on it a whole lot, but I post a little bit onto it. I should like post more onto it because I think like honestly that's where I've gotten a lot of more user interaction, I suppose.
I think a lot of people say that it's easier to grow on TikTok than it used to be. Like Instagram used to be easier, YouTube used to be easier.
Yeah, I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
More kids maybe are on
maybe more kids,
TikTok.
like maybe like Instagram has like more investment in like their existing creators, and they want like the people who are making big money on there to like stay there.
It's more geared towards the like the bigger players and yeah.
I remember I like made my first reel on Instagram and it like boosted it, and so I got like a ton of views on it, and it was just like so addictive.
Right.
And then of course the next reel you make is not that like well boosted, and yeah, it was really had to like really go back my expectations.
Yeah, I hear that. Once I stopped caring about like the views and stuff for a
Mhm.
while, and I
Mhm.
feel like I was just like a lot happier then when I'm
Yeah.
just like posting whatever I want to post and whatever makes me happy.
Cool.
I like it.
Thanks.
Yeah, very jazzy. Made him look like yeah.
You look like an animal.
Yeah.
Unintentionally. I think it's your hair.
Yeah, it's almost spiky.
Cool. Well, this is my Instagram. I can't remember if I've been S or not. What about your stuff?
Yeah, definitely.
What's your Instagram?
At far.cider, SIDER.
F-A-R.
You guys draw it.
What's up?
I love this.
Bar
Thank you.
cider?
Far cider, yeah. Like SIDER.
Oh, S-I-D-R, not.
Yeah, not
not
like
alcohol.
not yeah.
Got it.
Or apple
Hate it.
cider. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Eugene and
Allison.
Allison, that's right. Thank you for the drawing.
Cool. See ya.
I could see this being on a quirky little like kids TV show or something. Yeah.
That would be fun. Cool. Have a great day.
Good meeting you.
Thanks. Yeah, nice meeting you.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
I'm Hayden.
I'm Carlos.
Nice to meet you, Carlos. I got quite a few pens, some like color markers over here.
I like your green sky.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Kind of a little trippy, I suppose.
I
A little
like it.
psychedelic.
Carlos is an
Uh,
amazing likes to drive cars, so maybe he'll give you a
Oh,
car.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
I gotta think of something.
feel free to dig in here. Got tons of different microns and
Alright.
Yeah.
Are these paint pens?
alcohol markers.
Oh, okay.
Got a few of those.
May I put this to the side? So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Go ahead and move stuff around however you want.
Wow, there's so many colors.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a cheap set on Amazon. It was like $30 or something.
Wow.
I'm not huge into coloring, so I'm trying to start cheap and then
Just work
Yeah.
your way up.
yeah.
Are you googling a car to draw first?
I'm thinking of something to draw, yeah.
You both live in Denver?
No. Carlos here is my nephew, and he lives in North Carolina. And I was living in South Carolina the last 6 months, and I picked him up on Monday, and we drove out here together.
Oh,
I
okay.
used to live in Denver. I lived here for a few years, but I'm moving to San Diego. A little halfway point pause.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
How about you?
Yeah, I do. I live here. I live just a few blocks down the road.
I loved living in Cap Hill when I did.
Yeah, Cap Hill's where I'm at. That way, yeah. It's a good area.
Super boring, that's for sure.
No, yeah. So, Carlos, are you going with her to San Diego?
He wants to.
I wish,
Yeah.
'cause I
He
got
loves-
family over there, but
He loves San Diego.
I gotta go back for school.
Back to North Carolina?
Yeah. Not something I want to do, but
Hopefully one day the family moves out there.
That'd be cool. Is that where you want to be?
yeah. You have a better chance over there than where I'm from.
Yeah.
How long have you been drawing for?
I've drawn since I was a kid. I've done like mostly abstract stuff with like pen.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been like huge into pencil just because I'm a perfectionist and I want to erase every time and
Yeah.
start over again. But I really started getting back into it probably like 21. Started doing it more often.
Mm.
A few years ago. How about you? How long have you been drawing for?
Pretty good amount of time, I think.
Yeah.
That's how I was like in kindergarten.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to do, and you know, I got frustrated at school pretty frequently, so I would draw
Mm-hmm.
to you know, ease my anxiousness,
Yeah.
which I think is pretty normal. It's a nice getaway.
Yeah, it is.
What grade are you in?
I'm going to 10th.
About to go in 10th.
Yeah.
Getting old.
Yeah, getting up there.
It is. Time goes by so fast. You're the best road trip partner. Even going to Kansas.
Yeah, that's where
Or-
I'm from.
Oh, you are? What part
Yeah.
of Kansas?
Colby, Kansas. It's like western Kansas. It's like 3.5 hours from here.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Probably right where about our AC went out.
Yeah.
Oh,
no. We had to buy ice packs and keep them on our bodies for the last like 2.5 hours of the drive.
Oh, that's brutal.
It was pretty rough, but I'm just grateful it happened then and not any time before that moment. We were just like sweating profusely.
Ugh, I bet. Did you get it fixed up when you got back out here?
Well,
or-
we just didn't drive my car for a day, and then the next day it just cranked back on full force. So I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
gonna question it.
Okay, nice.
I think I drive an old car, so I think it was just like not interested in the 30 hours that it just done.
Not interested. I like that.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah, Kansas is desolate.
I have a good friend that lives in. Hi.
Hi, Sergeant.
Hello.
Oh no.
Oh,
I
you're
just
good.
saw the sign. And I see that it's more collaborative than I expected.
Do you want to hop in on this side or something?
Sure, thanks.
Cool. Yeah.
What's the inspiration for this whole thing?
Oh, we didn't talk about it. I think we just started all doing our own doodle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any specific style or whatever you want to do, I suppose.
Whatever feels satisfying.
Yeah.
I more meant like who decided to
Oh,
create
Oh.
a group drawing
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, I wanted to do it for a while now and I finally had the courage to do it, so
I think it's so
I
cool that you
love
did.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Awesome.
is so sweet. Going in.
yeah, of course.
So
There's
many colors.
tons of
Yeah,
pens
yeah,
too.
so
You
many
can
colors.
feel free to dig in anywhere too.
Yes.
I don't really know what I'm drawing. Just doodling.
It's like,
Are you drawing an aspen tree?
On that tree.
That tree? Nice.
This is a lot scarier than I thought it was going to be.
pretty cursed, but I
It
like
is, it is pretty cursed, yeah.
And I say that with like, the most affection. Like, it's not necessarily bad, but it's a bit scary.
Right, yeah. Maybe something that would haunt me in my nightmares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He seems like kind of happy though. A little misunderstood.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah, he's happy, maybe
So he looks good.
just happy to be alive.
What's your name?
Oh, I'm Shaz.
I'm Katie. This is my nephew Carlos.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. I'm Hayden
Aiden or Hayden?
with an H. Hayden, yeah.
Thanks. Nice to meet
You said Shaz?
you. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Jazz, Peter,
Where are you from?
Carlos. What was your name?
Katie.
Katie.
I'm from Maine.
Oh, really
Oh,
cool. What part
okay.
of Maine are you from? Yeah, I lived all over Maine when I was younger. I
Oh.
don't really claim it, but my because I was just like from the time I was born until I was like 5. But my dad still lives in Waldoboro, a really tiny town. But
I've heard of it,
lived in Rockport and Camden.
but no
Thompson.
memories of it.
Yeah, I have memories. I call
Oh.
South Carolina home. I was just young when I lived there, so it's just different. But I love it out there.
Do you go back?
Mm-mm, no.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pretty out of the way.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
would go. I just haven't I haven't prioritized it.
For sure.
A long time, yeah.
Like when you get the chance to have a vacation, you probably want to go somewhere novel.
Yeah, exactly.
How long were you in Maine for?
Me?
Yeah, 2, yeah.
From birth till I was 20, and then I moved to New Zealand.
Oh, really
Oh,
cool.
wow.
I almost took a job in New Zealand this summer, but I ended up turning it down. Yeah.
The summer, so it would have been their winter.
Yeah, or sorry, I would leave in November to go there, but
Oh.
I ended up not taking it, but I was really close to it.
Wow, what was
yeah.
the job?
Working at a resort and somewhere like pretty remote out there, but
Oh, dang.
yeah.
So, are you mostly? Do you do like seasonal work typically?
I used to in my earlier 20s, but I got like pretty burnt out on it. So I'm just walking into like a more stable period, and I've been working remotely for a company out of San Diego all year, and they told me that if I moved there, I could come on full time, and so I would just feel like it was like one of those moments where I'm like I had to trade in like my typical nature for like a long-term decision, which was really new for me. I typically would just like to go have fun and let the rest work itself out, but it just didn't feel good this time, and I can always just go visit.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really exciting to kind of be like shifting to a new place for like this
Yeah,
long-term thing.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
What's the company like?
So I've been a career yoga and Pilates instructor for like 8 years. So I help. It's a wellness company, and I do a lot of admin work for them. But if I come in person, I'll be able to teach for them in person too. So
Oh hell yeah! And then it's easier to have full time if you've got like a few different things.
yeah,
going.
and it pays well, and it's just kind of like unheard of for like to be a yoga instructor and be able to walk into a new city and be able to teach full time. Like it just doesn't work that way. It's just you kind of have to you have to really network and build your way up, which is fair. It's a really community based industry, but so it's like I can't turn that down. And there's definitely worse places than San Diego. So
Yeah, definitely.
so,
That's really cool.
yeah, I'm very excited.
Nice. It's really cool to like hear about it as well because I've been just thinking about getting trained to instruct it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh okay.
And so it's very, very early days. Like I don't.
Where are you practicing?
I just have a home practice. 'Cause I
Okay.
just find it way too expensive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Do you live in Cap Hill?
I am currently living in Superior.
Okay, so you're a little bit of a drive.
Yeah, and
That's
trying
what that
to
would
move into
be.
Boulder.
Well, I have a ton of recommendations for you for trainings locally, but if Boulder is more of like your home base, I'm not super familiar, but yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end of the year, I'm gonna move back to New Zealand.
Oh, you are?
So then I need to figure out like maybe I'll do
Oh,
training there or
that's
something.
super cool. What part
Yeah.
of New Zealand are you going to? And what do you do for work?
Well, I used to do outdoor instructing and a lot of like seasonal work.
Really cool.
And
Okay.
it is exhausting.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No,
I
you get it.
understand,
Yeah.
like trying to shift away from
Have
that.
you heard of Brush Creek Ranch in Wyoming?
No.
Okay, that's just like that's where I worked at. That has like a ton of outdoor guiding and things like that. But
Oh, cool. No, I didn't do heaps of it. I like went to New Zealand for it and did some guiding there, and otherwise I just worked at like this place in Alaska and this place in Maine. Just like I never really worked for a big company. Yeah, and then with COVID, it really like took a big pause.
are you doing like backcountry guiding?
No, it was always day trips,
Oh, really
mostly
cool.
sea kayaking.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? That's super cool. What a life.
It was
Yeah,
lovely.
seriously.
That's your job. Isn't that cool?
It was pretty dreamy.
Yeah, you can be a professional kayaker.
Seriously, that's awesome.
Yeah, they pay you for it. Not a ton, but enough.
Yeah.
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 Well, you don't need a ton, especially when you're having that kind of a experience. I feel like
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's so true.
it's less about the money, I suppose, right?
It is, and I had that mentality for so long, and I'm just tired of like having to feel like I have to catch up all the time. So I'm like, what if I just give myself like a couple years where I'm not catching up?
Yeah.
But it's addictive because it's like your life is just like so off of like the beaten path, and it's
Mhm.
like kind of the way life is supposed to be, and it feels so good on your nervous system, and it's very difficult to walk away from.
I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So,
just being outside, having
yeah.
so much like change
And
in your life.
people like are present and connected, and just all the things we get deprived of on a daily basis.
Mhm.
Big time.
Yeah,
Big
so.
time. And that's why I was curious about like going into like the more spiritual or like yoga
Mhm.
realm, because at least you're working around people who are conscious of that stuff.
Yeah.
And like, are trying to negate it, even if they're living more in like the real world.
Yeah, you'd be
Mm.
super surprised. It's like I've said like all the time that I should just quit my job and just start a documentary series like what the wellness industry is actually like.
Oh
Mm.
god.
Like I have stories for days and days and days, especially like it's like it's like stressing me out thinking about it. But like coming,
I'm here
like,
for any warnings you have.
well,
I haven't done anything
yeah,
yet.
I mean,
I
it's
could stop
it's
before I get
no,
started.
it's an amazing. It's super fulfilling. I would just say just don't ever stop practicing. 'Cause that's like when you start to lose it. Because yeah, I don't know. I also do pole dance teaching, and I've actually found like that community is a lot more like spiritually aligned and in tune and like better people than most of the yoga people that I know as my honest answer.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was really cool. I guess like when I got involved in the pole dance community, like those were people like a majority of like female pole dancers like are women who live with PTSD or recovered from it. And it's just like a different sense of humor. It's a different way of treating people. It's a different way of like the language isn't always so pretty, but it's real kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that was like a little bit more refreshing to me. But that's not to say that there's not like amazing, incredible teachers out there with like a lot of integrity. It's just about where you plant yourself and how you involve yourself with it. So, but yeah,
You have to be quite discerning though.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like I have like literally been in yoga studios before where people are like snorting Adderall to like finish a paint job while their like side piece is walking in to like, help them like finish construction, and everyone's like hammered and like talking shit about each
Wow.
other, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like, we're
I
gonna
would have never have guessed
in
from
like,
that community.
in an hour and a half we're gonna clean all this up and we're gonna lead meditation. And like, I've seen and heard the craziest shit. Like a ton of like money embezzling is like really common, and like it's a wild world. It's just,
Are you saying the pole dancing world is
it seemed way
more
better.
wholesome?
It really is. It literally is.
Wow.
It really is. So,
And is this like specifically like have you worked abroad at all, or is this the American yoga?
yeah, I'd say it's
world?
like I've lived in Costa Rica teaching, and I was not super connected, but yeah, I'd say like I've lived in Denver and Austin, in both those cities. Like I could make documentaries about like the shit that's happening behind the scenes. But for the right cause, I guess. Because I'm still
Right.
practicing. I don't know. I have a lot of opinions. I could go on this. I could talk about this for hours, but yeah. I mean, and like Denver is really different too, because Denver is where Core Power started. So that's like where that type of yoga of like faster, stronger, like just like not really doing yoga. It kind of like anchored and like spread out. So like you deal with a lot of people who like come from like a fitness based approach as opposed to like it being like an actual yoga background.
Damn.
So yeah, there's a lot. I could talk about this for hours, but you should still do it because it's an amazing experience. Like
I'm nervous.
some of the best friends I've ever had, most amazing connections I've ever made. It's everything has a dark side. Everything.
Of
So
course.
it's-
Yeah. Any organization you go into.
and just the experience of like having your 200 hour is so incredible. Like you end up becoming friends with people that you typically never cross paths with, and you just like, and like practicing that much is just so good for you. And like just I don't know, I'm like a little old school. Like I found like a teacher and I really loved her teachings, and I've just like, but I just went everywhere she went for years, which is like kind of like the ancient way of doing it. Like I come from like a family of yoga. Like I study under like a certain like 5 people, and that's like where I like really spend my time. But I think we live in a time where like everybody just like kind of has to position themselves as like the expert, 'cause that's how you make money. So I think if like to me like education is so important. Like I'm always in training. I love to be learning, and I just like want to be doing that with people who are like well informed. And like my teacher is a dance anthropologist, so that's what she has her master's in, is like how people utilize movement from like the dawn of time culturally to like honor seasons and things like that. So her perspective has just always been really unique. So I think that's another thing too, is like I wouldn't just like go get your 200 hour. Like my first 200 hour, I just like threw a dart on a map and like found a place that like I wanted to go spend a month, which was in Santa Barbara, California. But then I ended up having to like spend the next few years like kind of unlearning everything that I learned because nothing that they taught me really resonated. And then I found a teacher who I loved. And it's way easier to learn something correct the first time than it is to unlearn behavior. Like we all know that in every area of our life. Like, you know, so I think if I were telling somebody to go get their 200-hour, I would say find a teacher that you're like absolute fuck yes about everything that's coming out of their mouth, and they can tell you why they're doing it, and that's your time and energy in.
But how do you even begin finding who that would be?
I mean, I definitely would get into public classes,
Yeah.
and if you can't do that, like start practicing online and figuring out like who these people are learning from that you enjoy what they're teaching. But yeah. I'd say, and even like we would drive, but I mean, Capitol Hill has Black Swan Yoga, which is donation based, so you can literally walk in with $1 and practice if you wanted to.
That's awesome. I'll write that down.
Yeah. So
that's unfortunate. I've just been house sitting in Denver, and I leave today to go back to Boulder. So if only I'd known about that.
I heard of the little yoga studio in Boulder. That's another place I would recommend. And when I spend money on things like that, I always say that I get that money back because it's like an investment in my health and that keeps me working longer.
It's true.
So,
yeah.
Are you gonna hear that really long speech?
Wait, and what was the place here that you mentioned?
So Black Swan is donation based. I do not love all of their teachers by any means, but there are a few really good ones. And then Boulder has the little yoga studio. And there's a place in Boulder. What is it called? It's like a little yurt, Star House. They do workshops all the time with really like with world famous teachers, so you can always see like people who wouldn't traditionally be like local go through there, and they do like retreats and intensives, and that's a really good way to like explore like global teachers.
Cool.
And that's another really good way to go about it, is because if like you meet someone who's mostly just teaching all over the world, it's likely that they have people who have studied underneath them in cities all over the place.
True.
So,
and then if you like the people that studied under them, then you can learn. What do you think about, like, I feel like it's a bit of a cliche for people to like go to Asia and get their yoga instructors, right? Like,
I just think it's the same thing. Like I wouldn't recommend giving someone $5,000 that you don't know, because they can literally anything can come out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Anything. But the experience of like going to Thailand, yes, that would be incredible. And there are some teachers that are incredibly popular for good reasons who will host trainings in countries like that because it's affordable. So that's another thing to look into. And then of course like Susanna Bartaki, I think I said her name wrong. She's an incredible instructor, but she like hosts trainings out of India. So it's just about doing your research and checking people's credibility.
What was her name? I feel like I should look into someone that might be credible as like a starting point.
She has a book. She's kind of like always calling out like white people on the internet for like not doing things right, but she's an amazing Susanna Bark-Ataki, so Susanna, and then her last name is Barkataki. I've never practiced in her before, but I'm pretty sure she hosts trainings out of India a lot. Megan Curry is a really great person to look into. She's in Bali.
How do you know these people? Like, these people that you just met over the years?
I just started practicing when I was really young, and yoga has literally just been my entire life for a very long time. So I'm
lucky that I ran into you. Thanks for this intel.
Yeah, of course. I'm trying to think of a couple other. So Megan Curry hosts trainings out of Bali. I think like every 3 months. So if you're going to be in Southeast Asia, that'd be a great place to go. Nice. And the Yoga Barn in Bali always hosts like really credible teachers. So if you're I would look into there. And then my teacher, who I love, her name is Shiva Ray, and she's always all over the planet. And she's like,
and she was the anthropologist.
Yeah, so she studied dance anthropology.
That's fascinating.
She's a dancer and but also an amazing yogi. Like she's studied in India for years, and it's just the most badass person I've ever met. That's amazing. It looks so good. It like perfectly fit like with what's happening over here. Like it looks like that dog just walked out of that tree, and this guy's like yelling at him to make sure he cleaned up his poop. It's beautiful, Carlos.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really dig it.
That's as good as ice cream.
Which tree was it? I'm trying to think which tree it was.
That one, like
this tall one.
The one right behind that tall one.
Go run over to it.
We need to see it.
I wasn't sure either. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Cool.
That was my next guess. I was kidding.
I'm glad you two were able to meet each other. That's,
Yeah, thanks for
Thanks for
yeah.
just setting it up. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate
Oh.
it.
You ready for some food?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go try to feed a 15-year-old.
Right on. It was nice to meet
Good
you.
luck.
Thanks so
Yeah.
much.
See you guys. See ya. Thanks
See
for
ya.
drawing.
Yeah, thank you. We got a speaker.
How long have you been here?
Just drawing.
Yeah.
Not very long. Maybe like 30 minutes.
Oh, nice. Great
Yeah.
timing.
Yeah, it's actually going better than I thought it was going to go. So
Do you think no one would come by?
I kind of thought that at
People are
first.
shy.
Yeah.
I was not sure, and I was trying to. I'm going over there in a little bit to see
Yeah.
if there's like acro happening. That's why I'm at this part. But it's just, I was just so like intrigued by your sign. I couldn't help myself.
Well, I'm glad it's working.
Yeah. Do you think you'll do it again, or is it a one-time thing?
Oh, for sure. I'm going to do it a lot more,
Nice.
especially with how well it was received this time. So
Yay.
I've wanted to do it on 16th Street for a while, but it's just such a husk of what it used to be
Oh,
down there with all the construction.
damn.
Yeah.
I don't know Denver at all, so like I don't know where that place is. But it's like a pretty big park. Like
It's just like a big avenue
Okay.
that goes like straight across downtown. It's almost kind of like shopping mall-esque, which isn't my favorite, but it does like attract a lot of the like tourists and people like that. So
Oh.
that would be like it gets a lot of traction and traffic going through it, like foot
Nice.
traffic. So
And so you do you have sort of a target demographic with this, or like would it be ideal for more like tourists and more diverse like walks of life to come by?
It's a good question. I mean, I really don't know. I'd like to get it all. And I think like actually this is probably a great place to start because I think like people that frequent Cheeseman are normally pretty open-minded and are here to do like tightrope walking or like the what were you calling it? The acro?
Acro, yeah.
Acro, yeah. That's like flow stuff, right? Like in raves where they have the buoy balls and all that stuff, or is that?
I mean, it's adjacent. Acro
Okay.
yoga is more like two-person yoga where one person's like balanced on the other person's feet typically.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've seen that here a few times. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Apparently
That's what it's called. Okay.
It happens Sundays here, but it started a couple hours ago, so I have my doubts, but we'll see.
They might have left already.
Maybe.
Last time I saw them, they were next to the pavilion.
That's what
Yeah.
I heard, that I should go to the pavilion,
Mhm.
and I was on my way. And
I
I saw your sign.
had to stop
I
by.
had to stop by.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah,
Hell
me too.
Yeah.
What's your deal? Obviously, you now know a bunch of mine just from me speaking about it to
Yeah.
that person.
I'm just from Kansas. Moved here. Did National Guard for a while.
Wow,
Um,
that's surprising, I guess.
yeah.
I just, drawing and National Guard
Right.
seems so different
doesn't seem like it goes together
for some reason, but obviously
yeah.
everyone needs their outlets.
Right. Yeah. I think that actually helped me figure out that I don't want to be somewhere where there's an omnipresent authoritarian looking over my shoulder at all times.
Sounds terrible. Sounds really unpleasant.
there's good things. There's good things.
Okay.
I think anybody would tell you that. You learn a lot about yourself.
Mm.
I was in the infantry, so it was very much like hard men doing hard things and shooting guns and very intense.
Yeah.
Uh,
I can imagine. How long did you do that?
for 6 years. Actually, yesterday was my my last day of
What?
like the inactive reserve portion.
Whoa.
So anybody who does like a 4-year contract, they always have to do 8 total. So you do like 4 years active and then 4 years inactive.
But you said you did it for 6.
So I did 6 in the active guard and then 2
So you didn't
years.
have to. You didn't have to do 6, or you did?
Well, you didn't have to do 6. When you're young, they don't really tell you that there's other options.
Oh, you're
You
just
know.
still doing it, and it's just what you're doing.
I mean, yeah, like the contracts they try to get you to sign are always 6-year, but you could try and like get a 4 or 2-year, which is really unheard of, but it's it's possible. You just have to be very you have to go in there knowing that like that's what you want.
Right.
Otherwise they're not going to tell you like, oh yeah, you could just do 6 years.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so yesterday was my last day of being inactive, which is really nice because of everything that's happening in the world right now. It's
You don't know if you were actually going to get called back.
right.
Yeah.
So that's very
So you're like safe
relieving.
now.
Yeah,
You're completely out of the
Yep.
system.
completely out.
Wow.
Yeah,
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yesterday.
Yeah,
Holy
yesterday,
shit,
yeah.
What a relief.
I'm very happy now, and
Whoa.
it feels like a weight's off of my chest for sure.
Yeah.
Still feels weird.
imagine
Still
that.
feels like at any point I'm gonna get a call though. But so I just bar back up at Red Rocks and the Fillmore
Oh, fun.
for my day job, well, night job, I guess.
Yeah.
So that also, I don't know, like kind of puts me in a place where I didn't really get to be when I was in the Guard because you're not really, I don't know, seeing shows as much. It's kind of a culture that's not really, I don't know, looked at very positively.
Wow.
In the
like seeing
military,
music
I suppose.
shows.
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah. They're all kind of bleak.
Yeah.
But there's some good people in every organization, like we were talking about too with
Mm.
Christine?
Katie?
Katie.
Yeah?
I think it was
You
Katie.
think so?
I think
Okay.
you got it, yeah.
I wouldn't feel. Yeah.
Yep.
I trust you. Yeah, that's good. So you still like made some friends.
Oh, yeah.
Through it. Are you
Oh,
still
yeah,
in
for
touch
sure.
with people?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big chunk of your life.
Yeah.
Are there people around here that you met through that?
A few of them. Yeah. Yeah, I got some like in like Littleton, and well, you don't really know the area very well, so yeah, they're kind of like they're kind of around,
Scattered around.
a few in Utah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I had to drive all the way to Grand Junction, which is like on the western side of Colorado. So you have to like go over the Rockies. That's where I had to go like once a month
For work.
for Guard for like drilling. So like when you're in the Guard, you it's like part-time pretty much. So you get to like you have like your own life outside of it, but like once a month you go and train and do all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then 1 month out of the summer you do a training thing too.
So did you have a separate job while you were doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, what were you doing then?
I was doing mechanic work.
Oh,
Yeah,
like car stuff?
car stuff. Yeah.
That sounds satisfying.
Yeah, it was. I think I always had like a yearning to do more, but my brother was like in film school and everything, and I was living with him when he was doing that, so it always seemed cool to me.
Yeah.
But again, just like being creative isn't very like, I don't know. It's not the normal route for somebody who's in the military.
That
So
sucks. Like not very encouraged.
yeah, it's not very encouraged. Yeah.
Even though it's not like your whole life. Was it
Right.
your predominant like
I mean-
friendship group?
Not really. That's a good point.
Like who?
I think it was more mentally, more of a mental thing than like people actually telling me that it wasn't.
You just had like this feeling that it wouldn't really be supported, and then you're like around these people telling them about your life, so maybe like it
Right.
wouldn't feel like something that you would want to pursue.
Right. Yeah. I would say so.
Probably
Something
like
like that.
simplifying it a lot.
Yeah. But I mean, I think you simplified it pretty well. Yeah.
Wow. So I mean, you can clearly draw. How long have you been doing this?
I mean, I've drawn for a long time. I've done like abstract stuff and like patterns since I was a kid. But I had a deployment to Eastern Africa and just had a lot of downtime because we were just security.
Wow.
So just sitting in towers and like looking out into the vast emptiness. And I just had a lot of time to draw and write and read, and just brought me back to my love for doing it
Oh,
and
beautiful.
wanting to share that with other people.
But how was it doing it in that space where you felt like creativity wasn't very supported? Was it different there?
I think I kind of like just like dug deep and became more stubborn. Just because since it became full time, I guess, and it was less of like, oh, I can escape you guys and like go and do my own thing, and it became like, oh, I have to be around all of you. And I don't know, I guess it was more of a no-brainer because there was a lot of people that were just they'd get like a little hockey puck thing that had service, and they would just sit on their phones all day, or some people would like watch movies when you're supposed to be, pulling security, and I just didn't want to like spend all my days consuming content when we had so much time to, I don't know, create and do things that I've wanted to do since I was since I was a kid, but you had to work and be in this system. It's weird because it's almost like being over there was, you have like your rent paid for, you have your food made for you, and you don't really have to worry about anything.
Wow.
Except for your job, and
that's quite easy.
It's quite easy, yeah, when you're just looking out into the emptiness.
You've got a lot of free brain space.
For sure.
Like 100% free.
Right.
More so than any other time in your life when you have to take care of yourself.
Right.
Wow.
And I feel like, like modern day, with all the technology we have and everything, we're almost never allowed to really be bored or like really, I mean, we're allowed to, but it's less, predominant in our nature, I suppose, in our culture, I suppose.
It feels kind of scary to be bored or lazy, right? Like if you're bored, you probably should be doing something else that's productive.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. Like I feel like there's definitely something there that we're hiding from.
Right. And I think some of my best drawings, I think, came out of me just being bored and picking up a pen and doing something rather than sitting on your phone or on the TV.
Yeah, easy to do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm dying.
Yeah,
Next
it's
time
really
you
hot.
Choose a spot in the shade, my friend.
It was in the shade, like.
Oh, you were? I
Yeah.
believe you.
Yeah.
Dang.
I might.
It's constantly changing.
But yeah.
But then this whole thing, this is cool. Are you gonna
Bit of
post it
contraction.
somewhere?
Yeah, I'm gonna edit it down and probably post it somewhere.
Can I see where it's gonna be?
Yeah.
Can I like follow you or something?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. That'd be fun. I'm being really stingy with data, so I'll just put your name into my notes and then follow you later.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah.
I assume
Yeah,
it's
we can
Instagram.
write it down somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, notes work too. Yeah, it's I'll post like a little thing on Instagram, but I'll probably do like more of a longer form version of it on YouTube.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sweet. And it's Hayden.
Hayden, yeah,
Cool.
and sorry,
Shaz.
Shaz.
Shaz, yeah.
Shaz. That's
Don't
right.
worry about it.
Cool. Like CHAZ.
SHAZ.
SHAZ. Okay,
Yeah.
I like it. Unique.
Thanks.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for drawing with me. I hope some more
Thanks for
cool
drawing
people
with
come
me.
by.
I really like what you made.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's almost mandala. Yeah,
It's
beautiful.
just the same thing again and again.
Yeah, I like
That's
patterns.
How my
Yeah.
brain works.
Right on. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
I hope they're still doing the aerobic over
Me
there.
too. Otherwise, maybe I'll be back. It's very enjoyable.
Yeah, hopefully I'm in the shade when you're back.
I
so.
hope so.
Yeah.
Okay, see you later.
See ya.